I get asked quite a bit about how I do the lens dirt effect in my found footage renders that I make with Blender, so I want to give a quick tutorial. First things first, you're going to just render out an image. This is just a little test scene that I modeled and textured really quick, and we got a nice bright light source in the center. That's what's going to drive the effect. So once you got your rendered image all done, you're going to hop over to the Compositing tab at the top of your screen there, and we are going to click Use Nodes. First node we need is the viewer node so we can see what the hell we're doing. And once you got that enabled, you can also, if you have Node Wrangler turned on, you can shift right click to get that little connector there. It just makes things a little more organized. So the first up here is the glare node, and we're going to set that to fog glow, and we're going to choose quality low. We basically want to make a nice big blurry bloom effect of the brightest parts of the scene. So once you got that set up, we're going to add our next node. Next, we're going to blur that result up with the fast Gaussian blur using the blur node, and we're going to use the relative setting. It's just a little easier to dial it in. And once you got that looking the way you'd like it, you can go and minimize everything, and I like to make groups just to keep things organized, so we'll call this one glow data. Once you have the glow data, we're going to actually bring up the lens dirt, and you want to use an image texture for that. So if you've got some handy, you're going to want to find a transparent PNG that has your effect on it, and if we bring that right over to our connector socket here, you can see this is awesome, but it is in landscape and our video is in vertical. So what are we going to do to fix that? Don't worry, super easy. Use the transform node, and then we're also going to follow it up with the scale node. Add that to the equation here and set it to render size, and we have options for stretch, fit, and crop. And we're going to go ahead and fit it, but we are going to rotate it using that handy transform node. Same as we did with the glow data, we're going to use the same exact blur node, fast Gaussian relative blur, blur it up a little bit just to give it some fuzz, and then we're going to use two different mix color nodes. The first one here, we're going to plug glow data into socket A, set it to darken, and then we're going to plug our image texture into socket B. And right when we plug that into our compositor and viewer, you can see we're already getting some results. We're getting some faded dirt, and we're also getting some strong dirt right where the light is the strongest. We are going to go ahead and set up another glare node using fog glare, and this is just for what we'd like to see if the image was being rendered as is. I like to put a little bit of a glow on emissive surfaces. It just helps it kind of feel a little more realistic. But once you got that looking good, go ahead and add another mix color node, and we're going to drop our lens dirt right here into socket B, this new glare output, socket A, and we're going to set the blending mode to screen. Go ahead and plug that into the output, and voila. We've got that lens dirt effect coming in because of our masked out bright areas. This also works in the Blender Compositor if you click the camera, and you can actually move your camera around live in the scene and see how the light is going to affect that image texture that you put on as the lens dirt. So this is just a fun way, especially if you're doing found footage or if you want it to feel like it was filmed on a physical camera. This is a good way to kind of increase that immersion level. So you can always render out different angles, see how it looks, and maybe this is something you're going to be using. So enjoy.